Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. For those of you who don't know, I started Grumpy Old Fart to express my political and social opinions and to say things that I felt needed to be said. Unfortunately, YouTube started giving me strikes. As a hedge against this happening, I've created backup YouTube channels, Grumpy Old Gamer and Grumpy Old Ufologist. I also created a channel called Grumpy Old Fart over on Rumble, a free speech alternative to YouTube. You can find all of my stuff there, including my political opinion and current events. The link to my Rumble channel, as well as links to let you order my books, are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. For those of you who don't know, I kind of got out of football. I was a football fan for decades. I wasn't a fan, I was a fanatic. But I got out of football because they started that kneeling shit. You know, Colin Kaepernick and kneeling for the anthem and flag and all that crap, and I don't abide that. I'm sorry. They're not that important. They're really not. But my friends keep telling me, "Oh no, they're not kneeling anymore. They're not kneeling anymore." I said, "Okay, I'll give it another try." So I'm trying to get back into football. And my friends keep asking me, "Well, you know, who's your all-time favorite this? Who's your all-time favorite that?" So I'm getting back into football until they do the kneeling thing, and then I'm out. But until then, let's have some fun with it. This is my all-time pro football team. This is my picks, my opinion, my picks. You're entitled to your own, and please put it in the comments. Okay? Now keep in mind, all these players, whenever you pick these and put them in your team, they got to be in their prime. Okay? So here's my team football picks. You get 3 quarterbacks, 3 halfbacks, 2 fullbacks, 3 tight ends, 6 wide receivers, 4 offensive tackles, 4 offensive guards, 2 centers, 1 kicker, 1 punter, 7 defensive linemen, 8 linebackers, 5 cornerbacks, and 5 safeties. Now, you also get 2 alternates. Backups, for lack of a better word. You can stick 2 other players in anywhere you want. So, here's my picks. Here we go. Quarterbacks. I start off with Otto Graham. Otto Graham is, in my opinion, the finest quarterback ever to take the field. And if you don't know who he is, you're not old fart like I am. Otto Graham predates the NFL. Otto Graham played for 10 years in the league, okay? He went to the championship game 10 times, excuse me. He played for 10 years, he went to the championship game 10 times, and he won 7 of them. Show me another quarterback in the NFL who's ever done that. Okay, that's my prime guy right there. They called him Automatic Otto for a reason. And keep in mind, when he played, roughing the passer didn't exist. So you throw the ball and run for your life because they can still come get you. Also, whip tackling was legal, and if you don't know what that is, look it up. It's vicious. The guy's got the ball, he's running past you. As the guy with the ball is running past you, you reach out and you grab him by the face mask or the ear hole or whatever and jerk his head around this way as he's running past you. Yeah, where the head goes, the body follows. It's vicious. Otto Graham played in that era. So don't tell me, oh, he couldn't handle it in the NFL. Bullshit. Okay, that's all I got to say. My next one, my backup, next to him is Johnny Unitas. Johnny Unitas had one of the best arms ever to play football. Johnny Unitas could put the ball wherever he wanted it, whenever he wanted it. He was a pristine passer. Now, you can argue his mechanical skills and all this and that all day long, and you probably have a good case. I'm not going to say he was the greatest technical passer. But he had a heart. He didn't like to lose. He hated to lose. He would do whatever it took to win. You can't buy that and put it in a player these days. You can't do it. Johnny Unitas is my second pick. And my third, I used to take a number of other players as my third stringer, but now it's Tom Brady after that Super Bowl win against the Falcons with the massive comeback. Yeah, he really is the GOAT. As far as in modern football, he's the GOAT. I think Otto Graham may edge him out a little bit, and I think Johnny Unitas, after watching him play, Johnny Unitas probably tries harder physically, but you cannot ignore Tom Brady. You just can't do it. So again, put your own team in the comments. I'm okay to read them. And if you have discussions or arguments or debates, comments, please put it down there. I'm sure we'd all love to read them. A lot of good players in the NFL. Your opinions may vary. Okay, for my halfbacks, here we go. Jim Brown, the best running back to ever play the game. A lot of people are going to say it was what's his name, Emmitt Smith. Because he broke that record. Yeah, he broke it with 16 games instead of 14. So no. Jim Brown. The next one, Barry Sanders. Anybody who has ever watched Barry Sanders run, Barry Sanders carried the entire Detroit Lions football team for his entire career. Period. Anybody who argues with that hasn't watched football. And my last one, the incomparable Walter Payton. I love watching him play. Holy crap, I loved watching him play. Now, the fullbacks. Earl Campbell is my number one pick. Earl Campbell played with a viciousness. The man had thighs as big as my body, and I'm an old fat man. But his was all muscle. That dude was huge. When you're going to tackle the guy and he drops his head and rams you in the chest, knocks you back, and keeps running. Yeah, and you're one of the most feared tacklers in the game. Yeah, you watch out for that. One of my favorite clips is the one where he hit the guy, knocked him back, and ran up his chest as he kept running with the ball. That's Earl Campbell. People were afraid to tackle him. That's Earl Campbell. Bronco Nagurski. Bronco Nagurski played fullback in a time where there weren't a whole lot of rules for how to tackle people and how to block people and like that. They tried to hurt you when they tackled you. Bronco Nagurski played a good long time. That's all I got to say. My tight ends, Tony Gonzalez, Tim Coates, Antonio Gates. Anybody who argues these names are, oh my God, ridiculous. I mean, it's not even worth it. Wide receivers. Let's see. We'll start with Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Don Hudson, Tim Brown, Chris Carter, and Lynn Swann. It doesn't matter what order they're in. You send some of those guys downfield, just throw the ball. Somebody's going to catch it. They're going to get under it and catch it. Doesn't matter who. For offensive tackles, we're getting to the offensive line here. Art Shell, Willie Roaf, Anthony Munoz, and Roosevelt Brown. These four guys are all so good, you could just rotate them out, keep everybody fresh. No issues. Offensive guards, John Hanna, Gene Upshaw, Larry Allen, and Mike Munchak. Same thing. Rotate them out, keep everybody fresh. For centers, we got Jim Otto and Chuck Bednarik. Switch them out, keep everybody fresh, because they're all that good. For kickers, I went with Adam Vinatieri. This guy is my all-time favorite kicker. My punter, Sammy Baugh. Sammy Baugh was not only a great punter, he could fling the ball, and he was a good tackler. And when it comes down to having the 11th man on the field being your punter, you want somebody who can tackle. You know, a punt returner who gets past everybody else, the punter is going to have to be able to tackle. That's all there is to it. All right, now we're getting into defense here. This is my bread and butter here. These are the ones I like to talk about. Reggie White for defensive linemen. Reggie White, Bruce Smith, Mean Joe Green, Jack Youngblood, Gino Marchetti, Bob Lilly, and Deacon Jones. I don't know of anybody who can argue with that. That's my opinion. Again, if everybody has some different opinions, that's great. Stick it in the comments. I'm glad to read it. But if somebody can say, no, that guy shouldn't be on the list, I'm going to laugh in his face. Linebackers, here we go. The incomparable Dick Butkus, Derek Thomas, Ted Hendricks, Ray Nitschke, Brian Urlacher, Bill George, Jack Lambert, and Sam Huff. And there are people out there who are going to say, well, Lawrence Thomas needs to be on that list. And I actually did consider him. But there's something to be said for character. And I had an incident that happened in a fantasy the one time I've ever played fantasy football. And somebody advised me to get a tight end, and I did. And because I hadn't run my little formula that I use for players on the tight ends yet, and because I'd run in short of time, and so I needed another receiver. So he advised me to pick this tight end, and so I did. So I immediately sat down and started doing my formula on him, and I said, "Holy crap, this guy's going to jail." And I'm thinking, what the hell did I pick this guy for? This is just stupid. This guy's going to jail because he had so many off the field issues. I mean, you can't ignore. He shot somebody in the face. You can't ignore that. The tight end was Aaron Hernandez, if you're not familiar. And so as soon as I picked him, I did the formula, and I was like, holy crap! And I said to myself, this guy's going to jail. I got to find a way to get rid of this guy. It wasn't an hour later. One of the other players in the league offered me, what was that? The wide receiver from the Steelers at the time. Their best guy, really great wide receiver. And they offered me Darren Sproles, and they offered me 3 good draft picks in exchange for Aaron Hernandez. And I jumped at it. I took it. And everybody said, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that." And I did. So, and I was happy with it. And I told the guy, the guy who's telling me you shouldn't have done that, I told him, "Dude, this guy's going to jail. It's just a matter of time, you know." And it wasn't a week later, Aaron Hernandez was in prison for murder. I mean, I knew he was going to jail. I didn't know it was going to be for murder, but, I knew he was going to jail. And so, character matters to me. So that's why I didn't take Lawrence Taylor. He has had off-the-field issues. He's had lots and lots of drug issues. And I'm sorry, you put enough cocaine in me, as old and fat as I am, you put enough cocaine in me and I'll be a star linebacker. These guys did it on pure talent and their capabilities. Sorry, Lawrence. My opinion. Cornerbacks, here we go. Rod Woodson, Dick Lane, Willie Brown, Mike Haynes, and Darrell Green. Anybody who can get past those guys earned it. That's all I'm saying. And my safeties, here we go. Ronnie Lott, Emlyn Tunnel, Yale Laurie, Ed Reed, and Troy Polamalu. I've watched a number of these guys play. Ronnie Lott was my absolute favorite safety of all time. Ronnie Lott, when he tackled people, they felt it. Offenses planned for him, because when he tackled somebody, he launched himself at him like a cannon, and it was just like he just catapulted into him. He wanted to make people suffer, and that's the kind of defense you want. So this is 54 players, and as I understand it, the NFL allows 55. So my 2 alternates were Emmitt Smith and or Herschel Walker. You don't have to take running backs. You can take other positions. If I had to have a different linebacker, I might take Lawrence Taylor, but you feel free to add the other alternates where you want. Since this is completely subjective, feel free to discuss. I'd be glad to talk to you about it in the comments. And let's just have some fun with this. It's all opinion, so opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and they all stink. Here we go. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.